Fanatics. Welcome back, everybody. Man, we are so close to being in the teens. We are at number 20. Wow. I am so proud of myself. I'm so proud of you guys for keeping along, like paying attention. Maybe you're new and you don't know what you're in for, but welcome. So I have gone through 32 to 21, and now it's 20. So if you do the math, this is my 13th team that I am doing, and it is number 20, the Green Bay Packers. And if you've been following along, you know that this is basically my number one in the North. So obviously, this is the team that I'm having to win the division. So that this probably is my biggest call so far. I mean, I think that a lot of people think that my Saints call being very bad is probably my biggest call, but sure. But this is my biggest positive call, I think. This is my highest. Yeah, I think this is probably the highest that I have anyone that other people think are lower, right? Something like that. Cool. So yeah, I have the Packers winning this division, and it's so close. I have them going 9-8, where I have the Lions 8-9, and I have the Vikings 8-9. So I don't know how to do this. I know that I'm supposed to do PFF first, but I have a lot of points that I want to prove. So, but I've told you that I'm always going to do PFF first. So let me do PFF first. So I always do O line, D line, and secondary. So let's do this. O line, the is eighth, the eighth best O line. It's pretty good. It's top 10. They have the 18th best D line. That's also pretty good. And then I have the 16th best secondary, which is also pretty good. So let's just like put that against the Vikings, for example. So the Vikings secondary is 25th. We have the Packers at 16th. The D line is 17th. We have the Packers at 18th, and their O line is 15th, and we have the Packers at 8th. So Packers win the trenches basically. So it's all about skill players, scheme, all that sort of stuff, which probably goes in the favor as far as elite talent. It goes to the Vikings, who's Justin Jefferson's just better than everybody else. But does the Packers have the next five? Maybe. You say Justin Jefferson, then what? Aaron Jones, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, AJ Dillon, and then maybe who? I mean, I guess TJ Hawkinson. It just depends where you have him. He's fine last year. He got a lot of targets. He's good for fantasy, but how good was he for real life football? Who knows? You have Alexander Madison. I think AJ Dillon's better than Alexander Madison, and he's going behind a better offensive line. So just take all of that. So yeah, it's really easy because I think they're so close. I have one at 21, and I have one at 20. If you're a Vikings fan and you're like, I think the Vikings are going to win the division, sure, yeah, they're so close. They're one apart. I think the Packers are slightly better, and they're younger, in my opinion. So I think the best way to do this is how we always do it, and then we'll kind of fill in everything else as we go. So we'll do what happened last year, right? So they go 8-9 last year. And this is what happened. They were at Vikings. They lost 23-7. They were home to the Bears. They won 27-10. They were at the Bucks. They won 14-12. They were at home to the Patriots. They won 27-24. They were home to the Giants. They lost 27-22. They were home to the Jets. They lost 27-10. They were at the Commanders. They lost 23-21. They were home to the Bills. They lost 27-17. They were at home. They were on the road against the Lions. They lost 15-9. They were home to the Cowboys. They won against the Cowboys 31-28. They lost to the Titans 27-17. I think that was the Titans' last win before everyone got hurt. They went to the Eagles and they lost to the Eagles 40-33. They were at the Bears. They won 28-19. They were at the Rams. They won 24-12 against Baker Mayfield. And then they were at the Dolphins. They won 26-20. They were at they were at home to the Vikings. They won 41-17, and they were home to the Lions, and that's how they missed the playoffs. Is they lost 20-16. So I mean, they played seven playoff teams, and they went one, two, three, four losses and three wins. So they went 3-4 against playoff teams. That's not awful. Um, and then they just, I mean, they got really unlucky too. They lost the Commanders before they got injured. They lost the Titans before they got injured. Um, they just got unlucky. They hit the Lions at the end of their streak because they were pretty bad beforehand, and the Lions just went on a run. So um, they just caught people at bad times. They could have easily been 11-6. It's they they caught a bad break. Honestly, like completely honest. Aaron Rodgers broke his thumb. They caught a bad break. They went 8-9. They won one more game. They make the playoffs. I don't really have anything else to go on for that. And they yeah. Oh, actually, they went 4-4. I forgot the Bucks made the playoffs. Yeah, Bucks made the playoffs. They went 4-4, which is against playoff teams. That's pretty good. That's not bad. And then you lose to the Jets would make the playoffs this year. I have the Commanders making the playoffs this year. They lost to. I have the Titans making the playoffs this year. So overall, this is a pretty tough schedule. People think the Lions are going to make the playoffs this year. So if you think all of that is true, they played a tough schedule. The Patriots are always tough. They beat them. That man, they had a loaded schedule, and they beat some pretty good teams. They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Cowboys. They beat some good teams. They were pretty good last year. They hit some bad luck. So let's go through this year and like have what I have happening. So they're at Chicago. I have that as a win. They're at Atlanta. I have that as a loss because road and then road. I just never like that. And if somebody's close, which I have Atlanta at 8-9 this year, I think it has to be a loss. Road and road is just tough. Then you're at home against New Orleans. I have that as a win. Detroit, I have that as a win because they can't stop the run. And then I have at Las Vegas, I have that as a win. And then at Denver, so again, road and road. I have Denver and Green Bay, very similar. So I have Denver as a loss. You come home, I have a win against Minnesota, a win against the Rams, because this is about the time I think the Rams start blowing it up. You go on the road to Pittsburgh. I think they beat you. You're back at home against the Chargers. I think it's a win. That's going to be a key game for both teams. But I think that's a win. Then you're at Detroit. I think you split with them. I think that's becoming sort of a rivalry again. And then I have KC at home, and that's a loss. I have at Giants a loss. Home to Tampa is a win. At Carolina is a loss. I think this is when they're really hitting their stride, Carolina, and it's on the road. I have at Minnesota because it's like you've already beat Minnesota, and it's you guys are neck and neck for trying to compete for the division. I think at Minnesota is a loss, and then I feel like you win the division by beating the Bears at home. So you go 9-8. And people are like, it doesn't matter what we think. So it's when people talk, listen, right? When people talk, listen. So a lot of people are like, so think about, let's just say the Bucks, for example. The Bucks lost Tom Brady, and they said, let's get guys that we can develop, like the guys that you can't make a, they can't make a, you're not going to use them right away. So like D tackle, O line, uh, linebacker. It's just hard to get a rookie to play those kind of positions. You're usually a lot better getting a running back, receiver, corner sometimes. Safety, a rookie safety is rarely good. So, yeah, so if you want one of those guys, it kind of shows you that you're not trying to win this year. Then let's see what the Packers did. They get an edge rusher. They could be good right away. Yeah, I think Hutchinson was pretty good. Chase Young was good his rookie year. Thibodeau was like on and off good, but usually if you get an edge, they can produce at least a small amount their first year. You get a tight end in the second round. Is a great tight end class. Goes a few spots after Laporta. Everybody thinks Laporta is going to be able to be good. Is a pass catcher. Another pass catcher you get for Jordan Love. And then you go to wide receiver. Another pass catcher you get for Jordan Love. And then you go tight end again. Another. So this is what this says to me. Tight end and tight end. That says they're gonna run the ball. They're gonna run the ball a lot, which they've been trying to do since LaFleur got there. And then at 4 you get another edge. So edge, tight end, and receiver. That those all can contribute right away. All of them. So you're telling me that you think that you are ready to compete right now. That's what you're saying. You're basically saying, I got one more year of love on the rookie contract. It's a tryout year, and let's go for it. Let's win the division and see what happens. You got year 2 receivers in Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs. Everyone was kind of hurt last year. Watson, I think, missed a few games. Doubs missed a few games. I think you upgrade at the tight end position. The guys you lose Lowry on your defensive line. You lose Lazard, but I mean, you're not really going to use Lazard anyways when you have young guys like Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. So not a huge loss. You lose like a few guys, but you re-sign. You don't go out and get anyone. You're basically like, these guys are. I'm good. I'm good with these guys. I don't got to get rid of my coaches. I ain't got to get rid of nothing. I have my same coaches, my same team. I'm adding people in the draft that contribute right away. You're basically telling us we're going to go for it. We're pretty good. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little dry mouth from talking. So they go 8-9 last year. I had them going 9-8 this year. This year they play 5 playoff teams from last year. They get Minnesota twice, they get the Giants, they get KC, and they get the Chargers. That's pretty good. You can't really ask for much better than that. You get Atlanta, New Orleans, Denver, Vegas, the Rams, Tampa Bay, like Chicago. Like it's not a difficult schedule. And I think LaFleur is looking at that and being like, yeah. And it's so funny that we are doing this all over again. And actually, we're doing it all over again twice. So we've done this before with my McCarthy, right? Let me give you what McCarthy was with the Packers. He goes 8-8, 13-3, and then 6-10. I think Rodgers got hurt, and then he gets 11-5, 10-6. They win the Super Bowl in 10-6, 15-1, 11-5, 8-7-1, 12-4, 10-6, 10-6, 7-9, and then 4-6-1. He gets fired in the middle of the season. That's 2 losing seasons in over 10 years. 2. And basically, Aaron Rodgers is like, "Ugh, this guy? You're giving me like, I gotta get something better than this guy. Like, it's not like I won a Super Bowl with him, and I get double-digit wins every year." And then they're like, "Oh, McCarthy's just terrible because if Aaron Rodgers isn't winning a Super Bowl with him, then he's probably awful." Oh wait, he goes to the Cowboys and he goes, he gets a 4-win team. He goes 6-10, and that's 6-10 because Dak Prescott breaks his leg. And then he goes 12-5, 12-5, and I think I have them winning the Super Bowl this year. So everybody's hating on Dak. Like, Dak's not good, and they don't have this good coach in McCarthy. They go 12-5, 12-5, and they went 12-5 last year with Dak missing 4 games. I mean, and then we're doing it again. We're doing it again. We say, "Oh man, Aaron Rodgers is losing because of LaFleur." So LaFleur is on the Falcons in 2015. They go 8-8, and then they go to the Super Bowl in 2016. They go to 11-5. Then he goes to the Rams as offensive coordinator because he was quarterback coach. He goes to offensive coordinator, and they go 11-5 again. And then he goes to the Titans, and they go 9-7. And then he comes to the Packers, And he comes to the Packers right after they go 4-6-1 and they fire McCarthy. And he rolls off 13-3, 13-3, 13-4. And then this year, Aaron Rodgers breaks his thumb against a awful schedule, and they go 8-9. Rodgers like, I'm out. Peace. I'm gone. You're leaving 13-3, 13-3, 13-4. We've already seen this. This is the second time we've seen that just with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has already said, "Hey, I know this is a really good coach because he won a lot of games. He won a Super Bowl. And now he's going to the Cowboys and he's winning a lot of games." And then I got LaFleur, who's winning a lot of games, but then he has one bad. Dude, I would love for the Panthers' bad season to be 8-9. 8-9 is not a bad season. It's a when you have Aaron Rodgers, it's kind of like disappointing, but that's what happens when you get hurt. You lose games. That's what happens when you play 8 playoff teams. And you play the Jets and the Commanders, who I think have great defenses, and the Patriots. That's a brutal, brutal schedule. And you go 8-9 with a broken thumb and rookie receivers. Maybe it's you, man. So I said he's done it twice. Just Aaron Rodgers has done that twice. He said it's the coach's fault. I'm either it's him or me kind of thing. Basically, he says it's him or me at the first sign of trouble. So we saw another guy do this. We saw Russell Wilson. He goes 10-6, 11-5, 12-4, and then he breaks his finger. And he breaks his finger, and they go 6-8. He's like, I'm out. I'm out, man. I'm out. It's just Pete Carroll. I mean, I know he won me a Super Bowl, but I just can't do it. You got to let me cook, man. You got to let me cook. I got to cook, bro. And then he leaves, and he goes 4-11. But you know what happens? Seahawks go to the playoffs. Seahawks are just fine because good coaches win games. So I hope you guys are following the logic here, right? You're following the logic. So all these winning records, one bad season, you're gone. LaFleur, all these winning records, one bad season because you got hurt. Nah, bro, I'm gone. It can't be my fault. I gotta go. Russell Wilson, all these winning seasons, I got hurt, but I'm gone. They're not letting me cook. Oh wait, I go 4-11. You guys, I mean, I'm not out of bounds here, right? Like you guys understand what I'm saying. So as much as we're kind of saying that, oh, Jordan Love, do they have the weapons? Oh, well, they got the 8th. So let's do what we did with the Falcons, right? The Falcons had the 7th best offensive line, Pro Football Focus, and an awful defense. And we're like, they're just going to run all day long, and we think that's going to be successful. They have the 8th best, and they have Aaron freaking Jones and Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs and a second round tight end and a third round tight end and a third round wide receiver coming back. Why don't we think that they're going to be good too? You got to think that Jordan Love's going to be better than Desmond Ridder. I don't understand. It's just this logic thing that we keep doing, and then they have the 16th best DBs and the 18th best defensive line. That's better than the Vikings. Vikings have the 25th best secondary and the 17th best D line. We get so caught up in that quarterbacks win. They don't always win. We had Jared Goff in a Super Bowl. We had Jimmy Garoppolo was in a Super Bowl. Everybody thinks Matt Stafford sucks now, and he was in a Super Bowl. Rex Grossman was in a Super Bowl. Jake Delhomme was in a Super Bowl. Like, you don't have to have these elite quarterbacks to go to a Super Bowl. Ryan Tannehill was in a playoff game, AFC championship game. Blake Bortles was in an AFC championship game. Case Keenum was in a NFC championship game. And we do this all the time. We're just like lazy as fans. Nobody looks at the record. I mean, dude, they go against Chicago. Their first games are at Chicago, at Atlanta, home to New Orleans, Detroit, Las Vegas, and Tennessee. Those are 6 teams, 5 teams with a 6 teams with a losing record. Oh, and at Denver and at Las Vegas. They don't play a team with a winning record last year until week 7. Yeah, but Jordan Love though. What? Why are you saying that? He was a first round pick. What do you don't know anything about Jordan Love? Like we don't know anything about Richardson or Bryce Young or um, uh, Sam Howell or Desmond Ritter really or Kenny Pickett. Like we don't know anything about anyone. We don't know what Derek Carr is going to look like in the Saints. It's just so easy to say, oh, only quarterbacks win. All right, then why are we even playing the game? Why do we even care? Why are we watching games? I we sat there and watched Brock Purdy just roll off win after win after win after win. Jalen Hurts was like, bust. Goes to the Super Bowl. It's it's like just don't be lazy, man. Don't be. They got a good team. They got a good team. They're going to run the football. They're telling you that they got 2 tight ends. They're going to run the football. They got good running backs. They're going to run the football. They got a first round pick at quarterback. They got 2 second rounders, or they got a second rounder, Christian Watson, that fantasy experts are saying is a sleeper this year. So I don't see where they're bad. They got to. I mean, they got to. Every part of their roster is at least average or better. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. Like we just gotta stop with the look at the quarterbacks that this team's gonna play. This is a team. It's not a quarterback. You're not playing quarterback versus quarterback. Andy Dalton crushed Derek Carr last year, but now Derek Carr is the quarterback for the Saints, and they got rid of Andy Dalton. So they're obviously telling you that it's okay that the quarterback's not better because it's a team sport. Is that right? Is it a team sport? Huh. Interesting. That's was really, 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 really interesting. Did Nick Foles win a Super Bowl? Did I imagine that? Huh. I don't know. Maybe I dreamed that. I don't know. But that's what I got for you. I got Green Bay Packers at 20th on my power rankings, and I have them winning the NFC North and taking the 4 seed in the playoffs next year. So I appreciate you listening. I'm sorry I was like passive aggressive and sarcastic and all that kind of stuff because I really want to be positive. But like, come on, guys! Just because you lose Aaron Rodgers and get Jordan Love, and the rest of your team is like going into their prime, you can't like. Yeah, we got Bryce Young. We got all these holes in our roster, and we're the Panthers are plus minus 6.5 wins. Well, what? We got 7 wins last year, and we're all our guys are going into their prime. What? So just don't be lazy. Let's just not be lazy. Let's add coaching. Let's add roster. Let's add age. Let's add injuries. Let's just like kind of develop a fully formed thought before we just like dismiss anything because nobody wants to hang out with somebody that just dismisses things without listening to the overall argument. So yeah, I guess that's like my rant. Just do your research. If you're gonna dismiss something, at least have something behind it to do that. All right, cool. Well, we're in the teens next. I'm so excited, and I still, dude. I don't know what I'm giving up on the bye thing or the sayonara or whatever. I will just see you guys next time, and I really, really appreciate you listening. Like, subscribe, blah 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 blah. I actually don't really care, but I mean, I kind of do care. So just do it. I'd rather you do it so I know how you guys feel about what I'm doing, so that I can kind of like cater what I'm saying towards what people like to listen to. So I will see you next time. Bye.